Ho ho ho, crafty friends, and welcome to Craftvent Day 1. Today we are making paper pine cones. Woo! To start, let's go ahead and lay out our paper strips in the order they're going to be once we have them folded. So our two longest strips are 1 inch, also our skinny 1 inch by 12 inch, are going to be our top and our bottom, and they're not going to change. We're going to leave those exactly as they are. Then we should have 4 strips that are about 8 inches long, and those ones we're going to end up joining, and those are going to be our second and our second to last. And then finally in the middle, we're going to have our biggest strip. Those two are going to be joined. So believe it or not, this really will turn into a pine cone. I'm going to go ahead and use some glue dots to join these. You can certainly use other glue as well, but I find that the glue dots hold really, really securely, and you don't have to wait for them to dry. So I'm going to go ahead, just for security purposes, and put one on each corner of my strip here. And then I'm going to overlap that, press it down really good. So there's one approximately 16-inch strip. Same with this one here. One on each corner-ish. And press down really good. And last strip to have to put together. All right, now comes the fun part. We're going to accordion fold all of these strips. Our folds don't have to be perfect, but they should be approximately 1/2 inch in width. So if you're a little off or your fold isn't perfectly straight, that's not really going to be an issue with our final product here. So we're just going to fold back and forth until we have all of our strips folded. I do recommend you pinch them as tightly as possible while you're folding, and then when you're all done, we're going to make sure to give them a good squish. All right, so our pieces are full. Now it's time to turn these into little medallions. So grabbing up my glue dots again. I'm going to make this a little easier on myself. I should just tear 2 off. And starting with the big one, I'm just going to wrap it around. This one I ended up with kind of a funny extra tail, so I'm going to ignore that. And we're going to just turn them into these little starbursty loop things. So ignoring my little tail, I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 glue dots right here. And secure that in to the other. So there's my big one. Try to keep them in order so I don't forget which is which. Next, same thing with this one. It ended up a little short, but I think it's long enough to glue in there. So there's 2. That one ended up really weird, so fold it so it fits a little better. I don't know about you, but as I was folding these, the closer I got to the end, the less even my folds were. So my last accordion is definitely very, very cattywampus and cockeyed. That one's, oh, think we're just going to go ahead and fold that one up a little more and make it fit better. That did not go evenly. That's much better. And last but not least, won't make the same mistake on this one. Put the glue dots on separately since it's not quite wide enough for the space that they automatically are. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now here comes the trickier part. The fold is not the tricky part. Keeping them together is the tricky part. So we're going to rearrange mine really quick. Sorry about that. We're going to squeeze the tops in together and simultaneously try to open the bottoms and push it towards the table. So we're turning these objects flat, and they have a tendency, once you push them down, to want to pop right back up to where they are. If you have hot glue available, you're welcome to put a little dot in the middle and squish it together. That is definitely the fastest way. I'm going to go ahead and just utilize yet another of these wonderfully sticky glue dots. You can also use the tacky glue that's included in your toolkit, but it obviously does take a while to dry, so you might be holding each of your little medallions for a very long time. All right, this one's going to be really fussy. The two end ones are the worst, I think, because they are so small. So I'm just going to open it up just a little bit, pop that glue dot kind of in the middle, stretch it across, and squish it all together. Ta-da! All right, continue that on with all 5 of our little strips. All right, I've got all 5 of my medallions not perfectly stuck together, but well enough. They don't need to be perfectly stuck because we're actually going to string them onto our string and add a few more glue dots for stability anyways. So I've got my little paper raffia string here. Be careful, this is paper, so if it gets wet, it will disintegrate just like any other regular piece of paper. And I've got my big yarn needle. I'm going to use that for this just because it's a little easier to thread. So I'm going to thread mine and then tie a knot at the end, and this is hopefully going to be what will hold all of our pine cone pieces together. You can also just glue this on the top if you don't want to mess with threading it. I'm going to double knot mine so that it's got a big knot on the bottom to hold everything, and then trim off the little tails here. All right. So we're going to string our pine cone, small, medium, large, medium, and small. So I'm going to take this, I'm literally going to just shove it up through the middle of my glue dot in my medallion. Nice and slimy. Oop, like that. As I pop it off, that works too. And then use that glue dot again to secure it all together. Now I'm going to string my second one, and then I'm going to add just a glue dot on either side so that when I put my second one on, it will stick onto my first one and hold in place. So I'm going to string it first through an opening in my paper. Try not to pull too hard and pop it open like I did. Making sure. Good. Grab a couple glue dots here. Oh, that one grabbed onto me instead of where I wanted it to go. Stick one on one side, hopefully. Let's go. They got stuck together, but I think I can make it work. There we go. And slide this pine cone medallion down and squish it on top. All right, time for my third one. This one has a nice big hole. My glue dot got kind of side over there, but that's okay. It will still work wonderfully. A couple more glue dots to stick these together. Oh, I think I'm just going to peel and stick. That way I can stretch it a little better. Maybe. It's already nicely stuck to me. These things do work wonders, but they're kind of like sticky, slimy glue snot balls. There we are. Move my third one down. Oh, stick him back out. I'm just going to put another one in here since that one didn't stay as well as the others, as far as keeping its medallion shape. There. And then another medium-sized. Couple sticky glue dots to hold those two layers together. Looks like my glue dot got a little gummed up there too, so let's give him a little extra, just like we did the last layer, to hold him a little flatter. And last but not least, my nice little top here that I got really well glued. Sneak him up the middle here. Some glue dots to hold him on. Okay, I guess I'll put him on this side. Give it all a little smush to hold it in place. And last but not least, so I can take my needle off now, I'm going to take my shiny ribbon here and I'm just going to tie a little bow right on the top. So crisscross, thread it through. However you like to make your bows, just to give it a nice little finish up top. And we have our nice little paper pine cone ready to go and hang on our tree or whatever we're decorating this year. I hope you had fun. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.